So this is my audience, and I do want to apologize if my dogs get in the way. Okay, so this is my presentation on how to code a website. So the first, all right, so have you ever just seen a website and wonder exactly how it was created? The good news is that it's not hard to learn and completely free, unless you want your website published so people can view it. Learning to code is extremely helpful because you can use it to produce a profit by selling your websites or displaying data that other websites might not be able to. And while I may not have as much experience as others and still learning, I can guarantee that what I am discussing is very simple and not very complicated. Creating a website is very easy if you can successfully decide what you want to make your website about, properly implement your features you want into your website using code, and you test your website to confirm it works as intended. All right. First step is deciding your website topic. First thing you want to do in order to create a website is to decide your website's topic and what your website will discuss. So maybe you want it to be about a country, your favorite subject, or maybe even your pets or food. And if your website is for personal or professional reasons, such as making a website for a company or making a website just to do it for fun. You also need to decide the design of your website, such as the color scheme, the font, if you want pictures, and what information you want on your site. The next step is to implement your chosen features into your website. One of the main steps to achieve this goal is to learn the terms. Terms such as HTML, or hypertext markup language, and CSS, cascading style sheets. According to mdmwebdocs.com, HTML is the code that is used to structure a website, or web page and its content, and CSS is used to style and lay out web pages. Now there are quite a few terms, but here are just a few of them. So doc type HTML is one of the first terms, and it's one of the very first things you want to include in your site. It tells your programming software that you're making a website in the first place. You also have HTML, which does pretty much the exact same thing. And then and by implementing body, you can add things to your website, such as paragraphs and headings and things like that. If you want to end a section, which is required to have it show up in the first place, then you must put a slash after the first caret so it shows up on your website. An example of that is, so the paragraph symbol, and then you have the little slash after the first caret, and you put all of your text in between so it actually shows up on your website. You also have heading, and the one is used so you can make multiple headings and customize them each individually so they can have different font sizes and different colors. And then you have, which I said before, paragraph, and then you can also use the one to customize its font and coloring. It's used to make large bodies of text in your website. And there are a lot more terms, but those are just some of the main ones that I use. So the next step is to actually test your website and see if your code actually works or not. In order to test your code, you need to look for any problems with the pictures, color, or font placements, links, and any features in your website. Once you've found your problems, all you have to do is go back through your code and fix them. This can take hours. The most annoying step. And in conclusion, coding can become very complicated, but with these steps, it can become much easier. If you can successfully learn to create a website by choosing your website's topic, implementing your chosen features into your website, and testing your code, then creating a website can be extremely easy. Use these steps and try coding yourself. You may find that it's a lot of fun like I did. And here are my references. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean when it comes to coding. So, first you have to include your doc type. And sorry, we had some technical difficulties, but now I'm going to get back to actually showing you how it works. So, first things first, as I was saying, was using the doc type. HTML, and then you need the HTML as well, and your heading. That way you can actually have things on your website. And then also need your title. Now it doesn't show up in when you once you make your website. That depends on the file name. But this is just so it names it. So, then you would need the slash and title, and then you can do style, which allows you to customize all of the font and stuff like that of your headings and paragraphs. So, let's do the body. And then you can change the background color. I'm going to do a light blue. Then you do this so it closes it off and separates it. And then you can go on to the next thing, which is going to be the heading. And you change the color to white. And you can text, and then you can align it to the center of the page. And then you can close it off and go on to the next thing, which will be the paragraph. Now you can do this in multiple different websites, but currently I'm just using Notepad, but my preferred one is a site called Sublime Text. You can change the font family to and font size. Okay, and then you do the slash style to close it off. And then slash head. You can do body. And then you can do your heading. So it's going to be and then you do the slash H1 to close it off. And then you can end the body. And the HTML. Now, go to File, then you can click Save As. So you can save it on this speech. Sample 3, and then you want to include .html at the end, that way you can actually open it. So after you have saved it, you can then open up your File Explorer, double click on it, and it will open your website.